in
Yeah.
Los Angeles, California, we're the Mad Scientist Party Hour.
Hello there, friends! Welcome back to another episode of Mad Scientist Party Hour. My name is Kevin Kraft, joined once again by a man who is a nudist from the waist down and is currently strangling his boner in front of all of us. That's Geoff Clark.
Hey guys, actually not wearing. I'm wearing just boxers on the bottom hub, you know.
Oh, it's party time! And
I'm in the spirit.
transmitting to us from an abandoned Toys R Us, the bearded booger-eating giraffe known as Shuddy Boy.
Yo. Except, wouldn't Jeffy be a better Toys R Us giraffe, you know? Since their names are the same and all.
Oh, that's right. They're even
He spells it
misspelled.
with a G as well.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Where you
No,
said?
I was saying the same thing. You guys both spell it incorrectly.
Son of a bitch.
Look, that's the
We
only
both
way I
have
can.
style.
It's the only way I can be a G. It's the G in my name that doesn't belong there. It's a silent G.
Yeah, like lasagna, you know. One of my favorite foods.
I had a dream
Speaking of
recently
which-
about Toys R Us.
Oh, okay. They're coming
We're
back.
all
Yeah, and I feel like it was 2 days later I saw that headline, but then I Googled a little bit further because it was one of those memories that started blending in. I'm like, was that tied into my dream or is that fucking real? And I guess it is real, but apparently they're only bringing Toys R Us back on cruise ships and airports.
well,
I mean, it's a
Toys R
start.
Us never left Canada. They still have them. They didn't close down their Canadian hubs.
I
But I thought they were going to be opening in malls too, like KBs. Like they were going to be much smaller.
I mean, just in some capacity, I almost feel like obviously there are pluses and minuses to the way things are today as opposed to the way they were when we were kids. Because I still remember, my mom taking me to like 2 different malls, 2 different Toys R Us's, trying to find a single Ninja Turtle figure that was hard to get. And you couldn't you couldn't call ahead or anything. There's no internet, so you couldn't check websites. So you just had to blindly drive around. But I feel like that made it so much more satisfying as when you actually found one on the shelf. Do kids really get I don't know. I feel like I know Amazon is very quick nowadays, but I as impatient as I was as a little kid, being like, "Hey, we just bought you a toy. You have to wait for it to come in the mail now." I would pull my fucking hair out. Like I can't play with my toy that's paid for right now. This is the worst thing that's ever happened to me.
I mean, based on how the toy sections are at Walmart these days, which Walmart is still the biggest toy seller, I don't know that many people are going to the stores and buying toys anymore.
Yeah, I feel like it's all Amazon.
I know. Like I know, and I also know that Southern California is a completely different beast. But every time Carl and I go to the mall and it's popping, I'm like an old man, and I'm like, "Oh, warms my heart to see all these people in the mall." She's like, "What the fuck are you talking about? It's not crowded." I'm like, "Well, yeah. I mean, if you go to a mall in Jersey, like 80% of the stores are boarded up with fucking plywood."
The closest mall here to me here in Quakertown, Montgomeryville Mall.
Montgomery.
Almost one of the entire halves of the upstairs is completely empty.
Did you guys see that thumbs up that showed up on Shuddy Boy's screen?
Montgomery!
No.
There was a thumbs up bubble on your screen. Like around here-ish on mine. was like a little bubble with a thumb up emoji. That was really weird. Did you give him? Geoff has one now.
I just hit the reactions.
Wait, what?
You don't see that in the
There's
top
a
left?
reactions bar at the
No,
bottom of your Zoom.
I saw it on Jeff's, but I didn't know that there was
Oh, I have a heart now. Look at that.
Up here.
Oh, eggplant. Boing. Great. Now I don't know how to get rid of this fucking thing. Well, whatever.
Oh, we just ruined the whole audio form of the podcast. This is going to set us
Seriously.
back an hour.
I'm sure this is fascinating for people listening. But like, I don't know. When I go to Target and stuff, Target's got a decent toy section, and there always seems to be a decent amount of people buying shit there.
Our Target has not shrunk their toy section, but Walmart is like 3 aisles now. It's like the boy toys, the girl toys, and then the little kid toys, and that's all the aisles there are.
That's heartbreaking.
Whereas Target has like 3 aisles of each.
I mean, I
The
know
toy section.
it's got to be for kids, from a kid's perspective. It must be nice to just see the toy you want in stock, buy it, and then it shows up at your door the next day or in a couple of days. But like, I don't know. Does that really as a kid, the feeling of being in a Toys R Us surrounded by toys, Toys Panorama, was just a magical feeling. Even if they were toys I didn't want to play with, I just like being surrounded by toys.
But they don't know how that feels anyways, so they don't have nothing to base it off of, right?
That's true.
Like they just kind of, I don't know, like grow up understanding like fucking buying things on the internet, it would seem. But I mean, I'm not nearly into toys as you were, are, ever really. But I mean, I still used to love going to the toy store when I was in the mall. Of course, I mean, shit, when I was a kid.
I've definitely outgrown toys.
Yeah. Yeah, Shuddy thinks they're fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Shuddy hasn't bought a He-Man toy in like 2 days.
Listen.
The new record.
So, no.
So wait, why? Hold on. This is a good point though, Shuddy. Why don't you go to like a toy con like Shuddy does then, if you like toys so much? Or like Shuddy has.
I mean, I don't keep an eye on conventions as thoroughly as I should. I've been to toy flea markets and stuff, but I don't know, it's not the same when it's like someone else's dusty ass toys that are all opened and someone else's ball cheese are all over them and Cheeto dust and shit.
Why do you think that that the vendors are rubbing their balls all over?
Well, no, they like
toys they're
Kevin, how do you
selling?
play with your toys?
Well, they like itch their nuts and then they play with the toys. And then just through transference, there's dick cheese on them.
Your brain is just a scary, scary place.
Some dots you connect. I don't understand how you get from point A to point B.
No, but I mean, like,
Yeah.
Shuddy, I know I can't bro down with Geoff like this, but when you were a kid and someone else had like a Ninja Turtle toy that you wanted, like it was cool playing with their Ninja Turtle, but it was nothing compared to it as when like your mom found it at Toys R Us and you got your own.
That's true. That's true, but
Like
that's
especially
that's a different scenario than I don't want to go buy toys at a toy convention because it's got other people's ball cheese all over it.
I'm just saying it's not
Like
the same. It doesn't. That's like it's got to be like methadone for heroin addicts. Like, yeah, this'll hold me over, but I need that fucking good Toys R Us shit directly. In my
I
veins.
disagree, though. I mean, when I go to the toy conventions, I get that same kind of feeling.
Yeah, because you're the one who's putting the ball cheese and boogers on everything. You're fucking.
I'm doing it at their stand. I'm like rubbing my. I'd be like, oh, that's $20 off, right? Now that it's got.
Hey,
there's somebody's ball cheese on this. That's $20 off.
This beast man's got some booger snots all crusted up on the head. I don't know who put that there, but I want a discount.
Yes.
Well, how many toys in the Toy Con, Shuddy, are in the plastic?
Generally, not many that I purchase because they're significantly more expensive usually, and I pretty much open everything, so I don't mind if it doesn't have the plastic.
Yeah, you're not going to be stopped from playing with your toys.
I don't know, man. If it's out of the box, you never know what happened to that thing. Someone could have fucking nutted all over it, and then you,
Someone could have molested that toy.
yeah, you took it home and gave it a smooch.
How do you play with your toys, Kevin? Ball sweat and smooches? What is happening?
Yeah, you didn't do that. You teabag your Cobra Commander and then give him a kiss on the head, like, "I love you."
Man,
I don't
yeah,
know that
I can't bro down
Jeff
with
even
you. You're
knows
right.
who Cobra Commander is.
I do, I think. He's the bad guy in G.I. Joe.
All right, good job.
That's
I had a
really the only, besides Joe, that's the only G.I. Joe I think I know. Who's
What?
the
Well,
black G.I.
well,
Joe?
there is no Joe.
yeah. I learned that. I
Oh.
learned that the hard way when I was a kid, and I'm like, I was like 3 years into collecting GI Joes, and I was like, wait a second, I don't even have the OG one. I don't have GI Joe, and I put it on
Well,
my Christmas list that year, and my fucking poor mom was going from like mall to mall, Toys R Us to Toys R Us for a figure that just did not exist.
Like Arnold and Jingle All the Way, looking
I
for
mean, I
Turbo
shouldn't
Man.
say that. I believe the original,
Yeah, the giant one.
the giant ones were Joe, but when the small ones that we're familiar with that had the cartoon, there was no just GI Joe.
Yeah, it's a weird trick. Here's another one. I don't know if when you were my age. Oh, well, I don't know why I'm saying it like that, but Shuddy, when we were kids.
When I was your age, so 6 months ago. All right, what are we discussing?
Did you like the Dick Tracy toys that came out with the movie?
So I did. I only had a couple of them. I didn't see the Dick Tracy movie until it came out on for rental. So
Oh, see, I went and saw it and was disappointed by it in the theater.
so it wasn't something that I was super into. The figures were cool though. The
They
bad
were.
guys.
They were really fucking cool. I don't know what it was, but the construction on them, like the details, the little shit they came with, the stocky build of them, I was all about Dick Tracy toys. And
I
they
believe that there's a pretty decent resale market on them.
well, there weren't a lot of them. I don't know if they were popular,
Oh,
but
maybe not.
you know how on the back of the box, Shuddy, it would always tell you which toys were available? I had
Yeah.
every Dick Tracy toy except for the blank, the villain that doesn't have a face. And there were weekends where my mom would drive me from like all these different toy stores and shit. Never found one. And then I Googled it as an adult, and apparently I think they only came out in Canada or some shit. But they were listed on the back of the box. So, like, everybody I was friends with, and of course there was no internet, so there was no way of Googling to find out why is the blank, like, nowhere in stores. And yeah, they kind of fucked everybody. You know, being a Dick
So,
Tracy completionist.
so it looks like the back had 14 figures on it. And you can buy a set of 11 in box for $219.
Of Dick Tracy toys?
Brow, mumbles, flat top, prune face, shoulders, big boy, Sam Ketchum, Dick Tracy, the Tramp, the Rodent, and Influence.
Influence. I don't even fucking remember that.
That might be, if I'm being honest, that might be uh
I found some
I don't
article about it because I don't remember the official story, but apparently the blank, the Dick Tracy toy, is still regarded as one of like the rarest action figures on the planet, and people still charge thousands of dollars for it online. But this fucking... I hate when you're looking for a very simple answer, and it's like, here's the War and Peace equivalent of the story behind this. It's like, God damn it, I want one fucking sentence. Oh, that's a good idea for a website. Anytime you Google something, you get a clear and concise answer rather than some stupid fucking 19-page BuzzFeed article.
Like Cliff Notes of Wikipedia?
Kind of. Well, whatever.
Yeah, we can workshop that idea. My the action figures I played with growing up were Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, WWF wrestling, and then
Barbie.
and then I think some X-Men. I'm probably X-Men. I fucked with the X-Men as a kid.
Yeah, X-Men had some cool toys around the time that cartoon was out.
Yeah.
Did fuck, I just had something pop into my head for a brief moment and then fly away.
Was it toy related?
It was toy related. Whatever, fuck it. Who cares? We talked about toys enough. Geoff, did you have something to say earlier that was not related to toys?
I don't remember what it was at this point. I think we already discussed it. It was the gambling thing that we talked about in the Easter egg. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, maybe something will spring loose. I had a pretty fun weekend though. Got to hang out with you and Carl a couple nights.
Yeah, that was a rare double hang weekend.
I know. I never leave Long Beach or my couch, so it's good to finally get out. I spent probably a little too much money the first night in North Hollywood. Spent like $180 at that bar.
I mean, you went pretty hard. Like,
yeah,
they
had these things called the buddy systems, where you could order like a beer and a shot to back it, and it was, I don't know. I think it was cheaper than buying them a la carte. So I just kept doing the Mexican ones, the Mexican lager with the Will tequila.
That's a young man's game, Geoff. That is a young man's game.
That used to be the thing in Philly when we would go party there. Before I was not much of a drinker and only needed one daiquiri and I was good, would be the Philly wide, which would be a PBR pounder and either a shot of Jack or a shot of Jaeger.
PBR pounder?
Yeah.
Nice.
For $5. And I mean, inflation eventually, it went from being name brand booze to being well booze. And I think the last time I had one, it ended up being a PBR pounder and a shot of Bankers Club whiskey. And that was when I was like, nope. I am out of this. That's no more.
Was at least double the price?
No, it was still it was like $6, but it was like, I mean, that was years ago. I haven't even attempted some. Oh, I made Draven do something like that not that long ago. No,
it was Draven.
I panicked because I tried to order SoCo and lime shots, and the bar's like, we don't have SoCo. So I was like, all right, just shots of Jack Daniels.
Just shot the lemon juice.
Yeah, I'll just have a lemon.
Lime juice.
I'll just have a lemon party. But yeah, we had
you can't get anything like that in LA for $6.
No. You can't even pay the bartender $6 to pour that spill mat into your mouth.
Oh, hell no.
But yeah, we had the John Cooper rap party this weekend. And Geoff was initially off the guest list, but since Cheech worked as a PA on the movie, he brought Geoff as his +1.
Yeah. And
it
was so awkward that I was there because there was no one else at the bar. It was just a rap party, and there was no way I could have just blended in. Oh, wait. That was the opposite of what actually happened. What do you mean a guest list? The bar was fucking full.
But yeah, I was very surprised to see you doing those buddy systems. was like, holy shit.
Well, I wanted to go and just hang out, get a burger, and designate drive for Cheech because it was more his thing. Obviously, he was on set, he knew the people there, and he doesn't drink very much. So I was hoping that this past Friday would be a night that he'd go hard in the paint, but he just didn't want to, and he had to work next morning at 6 a.m. So after trying
You
to
were
push him a
hoping
little
to
bit,
get
I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna get hammered then. I don't care then. I'm gonna be the one
you wanted to
to
see
get
Cheech
wasted.
dancing up on some girls again.
Oh yeah, Cheech drunk is awesome as long as he holds it in. Um, so I was planning on designated driving for him, but he wasn't gonna get drunk, and I really wanted to. So and
Yeah, I wanted to get more drunk, but I ended up just talking too much and forgetting to drink.
yeah, and you're drinking those fucking ciders. I mean, are those potent? I've never had a cider actually, so before I talk shit,
Really?
I guess I got to learn some more about it.
Oh, ciders are fucking awesome. I love ciders.
Fair enough.
But I don't know about their potency. I'm sure they're not super strong. Let's see. Alcohol content in a cider.
I'll send you to a long ass BuzzFeed article.
Ah,
It's gonna
four
depend on
4.5 to 7%. That's like their average. So kind
It's
of
not bad.
similar
It's like
to
a
beer.
4.5 is like a Bud Light, Miller Light, whatever.
Yeah. But I mean,
Not
I
bad.
only had 4 or 5 of them, and I was still hungover the next day. It's fucking bullshit.
You're a lightweight.
Woke up,
Everyone knows that.
smoked some weed, took some Tylenol, drank a shitload of water, still had a headache all day. You came back when we left the bar. You and Cheech gave me and Carl a ride home, and then came in and smoked some weed. Do you remember that at all?
No, from my impression is that I stayed awake on your couch for maybe 30 seconds.
You never fell asleep
Gee,
on the couch.
oh, I thought I passed out on your couch. I thought you said I passed out with Carl's dog.
I don't think you passed out. You were hanging, but you were definitely very low energy. You're like,
Uh,
oh, it is good to see you, little mama. Wait a second. You're not little mama. You're an imposter, bobbly bobbly blabble flabble.
yeah, we gave you a lift home to smoke some pot, and I kind of remember smoking pot. I don't remember the drive home though at all. I was really banged up.
Yeah, you definitely looked it. I don't understand how, because like I don't know, I've become such a biatch, but I feel like even in my harder days, if I got wasted, like if I had 5 shots and 5 beers, if I smoked weed, the room would be spinning, I would be barfing, and that would be that. Did you barf at all? Because you held it together at the bar and at my place.
I puked when I got home, but it wasn't like a long puke session. It was just a couple of vomits, and I passed out with a trash can next to me, and that didn't have any puke in it. I actually thought when I got home and I puked the first time, I was like, "Oh no, I'm in for a rough one here." But the hangover was vicious. But we, obviously still went to Dustin's the night after, and Dustin stand up the night after. Did some booze in there, so I was all right. I rallied, but rough morning, and I definitely booted at home.
Yeah, I mean, the way I was feeling after fucking 4 beers, I was like, oh, Jeff's got to have a rough Saturday ahead of him.
I didn't do shit, dude. Just chilled and watched football all day until the stand up show. How was Carl? I felt like Carl wasn't that drunk.
No, but she had about 4 or 5 cocktails, so she was. It was definitely enough for her to be hungover as well the next day. But little
Me
wake
and
and
her were
bake.
at the.
Ate some edibles on the way to Dustin's show.
You both did?
Yeah,
Nice. Yeah, I was just gonna say, me and Carl were at the uncool table while everyone at the from the Second Coming of John Cooper just hung out and congregated. So at least I had Carl to hang out with.
Well, I think they were trying to get away from me because initially we were all sitting at one table. Then too many people showed up and there was a second table. And then out of nowhere, it was just you, me, Cheech, and Carl for a while. And I was like, oh, shit, where'd everybody go? And I saw another table. I was like, all right, I'll be back in a second. I'm going to go chat with these guys a little bit. Went over there, started chatting with them. Saw you guys still staying at the other table. So I was like, hey, guys, come over. And then everybody got up and moved to like a bar. I was like, I wonder if it's just I'm the old fart of the group. Because everybody is so much younger. And it's like, oh, man, fucking... Got to get away from the teacher.
A whole bunch of young, good-looking kids. No, how about when more of the people showed up in your crew or second coming of John Cooper? I confiscated a couple of the tables next to us, and no one sat at the table, and it was just me and Carl with like 3 tables, like a 3-table like spread.
Yeah, I think it's me. Everywhere I went, everybody just picked up their shit and vacated.
You're the stinky kid?
Yeah.
It's too bad. Everyone seemed to like you, though, and said you did a good job on set and it was a very chill shoot. Maybe you just are too old. That's that simple.
It was good seeing everybody. It's crazy to think that 2 weeks have gone by already.
Since the shoot?
Yeah. I mean, now a little bit longer, but still, it's just like, it does feel like it was a while ago, but it wasn't.
Does it feel like the experience flew by too, or was that?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like I blinked and then that's that. It's over. I was like, holy shit, I can't believe how fucking quick that went. I mean, it is a quick shoot. To shoot 100-page script in 13 days that is quite the brisk pace.
Yeah. And financially speaking, it did have to go by in a blink.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I guess it all worked out. Do you keep up with a lot of the guys or girls from set?
I mean,
you and the assistant director had like a bromance going. Carl pointed that out.
Oh yeah. Well, it was I've been in contact with people. I don't know, because I'm also one of those people that I'm always under the assumption that no one wants to fucking talk to me. So if I were to text somebody from the crew with something that wasn't work related, they'd be like, this fucking weird old guy is like trying to bro down with me or something. What the hell do I do?
Hey, what's up?
Can I block this guy? Yeah, at 2 a.m. I'm texting like the DIT. Hey, you up?
Hey, you guys want to play Fortnite?
Hey, you want to come over and play Mario Kart and smoke weed? I think Kevin is trying to fuck me. Is this how guys in their 40s spit game? Do you want to come? Do you want Mario Kart and chill?
Yeah. One thing leads to another during Mario Kart.
Yep. One blue shell, and then it's a blow shell. Mario and Waluigi are 69ing on the couch.
But it was a fun bar.
It was.
So what was it called? Idle Hour it was called?
Yeah.
It's like a big... I wanted to bring Little Mama because I saw on Yelp that they allowed dogs. I did actually see 1 or 2 dogs when I was there, but Little Mama wouldn't be able to hold up there.
Did you really want to bring Little Mama to a bar? Really?
Of course.
I mean, then you have to like keep track of her and keep your eye on her. Like, who wants that responsibility? It's like bringing your baby to a bar.
Not really. She's not going to cry. She's also not going to bark. She's the fucking chillest dog ever. I brought her to a couple bars.
And there's like a 75% chance that it'll get a woman to talk to Geoff unprovoked.
There's a bit of that, but it's also just like a vibe improver. Like, I bet you people would be more willing to hang out at your table if there was a dog there, if there was Little Mama. She had her own chair.
Not if they're allergic to dogs.
Yeah, of course. Sure.
Did you guys? You grew up with with dogs, right? Like, did you have dogs growing up, or did your mom get them when you got older?
No, those dogs were when I was older. They got Charlie when I was in high school. So I was like already in boarding school. We had one dog when I was in like middle school, I think. Because we moved to these, my mom and I moved to these like affordable housing units near Montville when I went to public school. And they were like real strict about no pets, no dogs, no cats. And then we just kept seeing everybody. Everybody was walking around the development with dogs. And we're like, wow, do they change the rules or do they not enforce them? Does everybody just not give a fuck? So we literally just saw like dozens and dozens of people walking their dogs at all times. You're like, well, fuck it. Apparently they don't care. Got a dog, and then 2 years later, that was when they cracked down and we had to give him away.
Oh no!
Yeah. It was like,
How badly did that hurt?
oh, it was brutal. And we gave the dog to my friend Gina, and her dad became like obsessed with him.
Of course, dogs are awesome.
Yeah.
Because
But I
I've had dogs my entire, or had at least a dog for my entire life, and also have a cousin who was allergic to dogs, quote unquote, growing up. Uh, so if they were coming over, like it was this whole big, like 2 day ordeal,
It's like Kevin with
vacuuming,
onions.
vacuuming the entire, every nook and cranny of the house, so they could be there. And he has dogs as an adult, so he's either outgrown his allergy or it was not as bad as my aunt led everyone to believe.
man, I
Are you
would
still cool with this cousin?
So
give him a
Do you
no.
ever
him and
bring this
I,
up and throw it in his face?
no, so him and I were never really cool.
Oh, you got a dog, huh?
Like we got along just fine, but we're the closest in age out of anybody in my family. We're only 6 months apart, so there was a lot of competition between us.
Who could be the most allergic to
You,
dogs?
Uh,
what did you
and
guys compete over?
I would say that it was our parents competing to make sure one of us got the most attention from my grandmother and family.
Weird. Did you ever bring your dogs to like the mall or the movies or the supermarket or the bar?
I have brought MJ to Lowe's a couple of times.
Would you ever bring MJ to a bar?
Yeah,
Yeah, but the
maybe.
question: would you get
Maybe.
weirded out if I brought little mama, or like embarrassed?
I would think it was weird.
Okay. Yeah, I picked up on that vibe, so I left her at home, and I told her, and now she's pissed at you.
I thought you were kidding, which is why
No,
I
dude.
responded with a jokey text.
Uh, I thought it was a
Like
passive aggressive text.
like
No.
my issue, my thought on not bringing her is exactly what you said, the responsibility. Like she's not she's I mean she's older now, so maybe it would work, but like I brought her to friends' houses that we were just hanging out in the backyard drinking beer, but they didn't have a fenced yard, so she had to stay on leash next to me, and it was a nightmare.
Yeah, I don't know why you would want to bring a dog. Like, I was annoyed that I brought a jacket to the bar. Like, I don't want to
You
fucking keep
brought a
track of this
girl.
thing.
So if she was the type of dog that could just be perfectly content laying at my feet, then absolutely. But she's not. She doesn't have the temperament of that kind of dog.
And it was like crowded. You got to make sure people don't fucking step on her or something.
I would have taken her off the leash, like little mama, just go do a lap,
And
go mingle.
Oh, mama,
Miles,
bring me bitches.
Miles lives his life strictly by a no new friends policy, so he's not
I like that policy.
the type for it. And Parker is just too rambunctious on the leash.
Little mama will literally be friends with everyone. She doesn't care.
Yeah, I don't understand people that just like can't be without their dogs and bring them to the supermarket and stuff. I was trying to find something in the aisle once, and this lady's dog took a shit right next to me.
What? Is that studio? Is that the Ralphs in Studio City?
Yeah. I was like, what the
That's
fuck?
that's
And
a
how
mixed
did
crowd.
she react? What
She
did
started
she
freaking
do?
out. She was like, oh, no. Oh, damn it. And then she was like going through her purse trying to get a shit bag to pick it up with. It's like, what the fuck is
Okay,
this?
I mean, at least she reacted appropriately and wasn't just
Dude, if
like,
she bounced, that would have been awesome.
But still,
Like,
like,
all right, let's go.
it's an
Let's go.
animal taking a shit in a food store.
It's a dog.
It's an animal. Come on. I fucking love dogs. I love animals. But, like, it's just,
Doesn't sound like
doesn't
it.
sound like it.
it's just, I don't know. It's maybe it's because growing up in Jersey, people just left their dogs at home. And it was,
It is a Jersey thing, isn't it? You pieces of
it
shit.
must be. I don't know if it's like a Jersey thing or an age thing, but, like, nobody.
I think it's an age thing.
No one brought
I
their
would say
fucking
it's
dogs to work. It's like, I don't know. When I see an adult bringing their dog into a public area, it just, I don't know. It's like an adult holding a teddy bear.
they've
Jesus
become
fucking
analogs
Christ.
for children, not stuffed animals.
What?
They've become a substitute for children.
Nah, I still see a grown human in their PJ sucking their thumb, holding their blankie. I don't know. I know everybody's gonna get mad at me for it, but I just don't like. Just like that, what happened to that lady? You want your dog?
Well,
to
you
just
say
take a
you like
shit next to
dogs.
somebody? I do, but like, it's just weird.
Do you though?
Yeah,
I mean, they improve the environment and the atmosphere.
I mean, I like porn too, but it would be really weird if two people just started fucking in the cereal aisle.
That is not even comparable. Those are two very different
They're
things.
two things that I like.
Yeah, but that doesn't make them the equivalent. That's a false equivalent. That's not.
How so?
Two people fucking in a cereal aisle is not even remotely close to somebody being in the
Don't.
grocery store with a dog.
Shuddy, don't let him drag you into the gutter.
Hey,
Don't fall for his tricks.
they're both things that are awesome, but better left at home.
I mean, there are porn theaters.
Yeah, and there are dog parks.
All right. So there are some public places you can take a dog.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't have they have Yelp, like sections in Yelp or in like the featured spot on a Yelp page says dogs allowed or dogs not allowed. They don't have anything that says porn allowed, porn not allowed. It's just assume
Yes.
you're not going to watch porn
Yeah.
publicly.
I mean, is this a regional thing? Do like people listening to this show in like middle America, when you go to the grocery store, are there fucking dogs all over the place? There are dogs in your movie theaters.
Maybe it's regional in my sense. I mean, it's always nice out. Like every store in my neighborhood allows the dog to come in. So I don't. To me, it's not a big deal. Like I'll give her treats. They all pretty much. She's like known on the whole fucking block.
Yeah, probably because you're walking around knocking on everybody's door, shoving little mama in their face. Oh, don't you like little mama? All right, you said
Yeah.
yes. I'm telling everybody.
Yeah, Kevin. I'm the only person bringing dogs into the coffee shop or in the bar and all that. I'm the only person. There's no other dogs there.
You and all the other pumpkin spice Karens.
For the entire history of Mad Scientist Party Hour, this is a stance Kevin has had. I know this has come up previously on old episodes where Kevin was
Where he hates pets.
grumpy old man saying how much he hates dogs and doesn't want to see them when he's out enjoying his food at a restaurant.
It is a little weird.
I mean, a nice restaurant is that's a different thing. Or really,
But
I guess any restaurant, I'll listen to that.
Right, but if you're sitting outside,
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
if your dog is well behaved, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
I'm not going to bring little mama to Frank and Musso's or whatever it's called.
Musso and Frank, but you were close. You were close, buddy.
What is it, Frankenstein Musso?
I want to bring her to Joe B's fucking Italian spot.
No.
Like, hey,
Mozza.
she likes ravioli. Can you give her a meat ravioli?
You have any doggy patty raviolis?
Man, I can't believe you're taking that stance. Just fucking Scrooge over here.
It's just
Fair
weird.
enough.
Ever
I
since
would
it
have brought.
started happening, it's just always weirded me out.
When did it start? Like, when did you notice this as like a thing? When was the first time you got weirded out by it?
When I moved to LA, that was
So
when I
it
was
is
like,
kind of regional, nice weather type thing.
I don't know, or it could have just been that it just like coincidentally coincided with the move when in 2011 when I moved to LA. That's when everybody just stopped leaving their dogs at home and started taking them everywhere.
Well, I think you also lived in New York City, right? And that's a lot less pet friendly. Like, you don't want to fucking. It's hard to live in a fucking studio apartment with a cat or a dog. Like, that's not ideal for the cat or the dog.
Yeah, beats me.
Being in Philadelphia as much as I am, it is amazing how many people have large dogs in the city. It blows my mind.
Well, either way, shout out to Dustin Ybarra.
Yeah, how was his stand-up special?
Excellent. It was so fucking good.
It was fucking sick. The venue was fun too.
Yeah, stand-up comedy club. That's just the name of it. It's just called the Stand-up Comedy Club in Bellflower.
Yeah, it's in Bellflower. It's right next to this place called Steelcraft, which is like an outdoor, like public, like there's a bunch of different restaurants and breweries there. So I actually showed up an hour earlier than Kevin and was just hanging out there with Cheech. We got a burrito, watched some of the game. Had like an Oktoberfest thing, so they had some like dudes in lederhosens playing fucking music. But
yeah,
it was
when I
cool
showed up,
vibe.
they were doing like a punk rock version of 99 Luftballons.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, interesting. Like, and they were all old and gray-haired, but the guitarist was playing his guitar like he was in Pennywise. It was a very interesting sight to behold. But it was the club was cool. Dustin's material was just insane. Like, he was just so rapid fire. There was like no lulls in the set whatsoever. It was just,
and it was
like,
an hour.
Like 45 minutes.
Yeah, I didn't exactly time it, but it was fucking great. He's so goddamn talented. I can't wait for that.
I keep waiting for him to come do shows out here on the East Coast.
I don't know. Maybe this special will get him some traction, and he'll be hitting more cities. Because it blows my mind that he's not a household name. He's so fucking funny, and like, you watch some of these specials that come out on the big streamers, and you're just like, yeah, all right, that was decent. And Dustin is just a fucking crusher. So I really hope
if you can get
does
this thing on Netflix, it could help his career a little bit.
Oh my god, yeah.
I feel like they're like the bastion for stand-up comedy, you know?
Netflix?
Like, if he's coming with like a complete product and they don't have to put any money into it and just like accept it into their library, I feel like that's a like not an unreasonable goal.
So this wasn't a special being filmed for somebody in particular. He was filmed. This was self-filmed.
Yeah.
To
shot it to edit it and shop it around, try and sell it to a streamer.
Yeah, I asked him after. I was like, "How long do you think it's going to take to get edited?" He's like, "I don't know, probably like a few months." I said, "What? Cut that shit in the weekend? What are you talking about? A few months?"
Geoff was like, "I'll fucking do it." What do you mean a couple months? No way, no way. It was so funny.
There's no way.
Geoff like arguing with Dustin Ybarra about how long it takes to edit a stand-up special.
It wasn't an argument. He didn't really like fight back. It was just like, what? A few months? You don't have to add. Like,
I know exactly how the conversation. I can picture exactly how the conversation went.
But it's not like John Cooper where you need to like add, or like whatever, a movie where you need to add special effects, or you're filming things like out of chronological order and you got to mash it together. You know, you're like looking at a script and making sure it matches up with the script. Like, it's, you know, here's his act. Just take the best camera shot from the three different camera lenses that you have options with. Like make sure the sounds. You're laughing. You're looking at me like I'm crazy, Kevin. It's not
I'm
that
not.
fucking
No,
tough of an edit.
you are making good points. It's just so funny to me. It was just I don't know. It was just one of those moments like I'm watching Geoff tell Dustin he's wrong about his special, and this is so awesome.
I was just saying, like, if the editor is telling you a few months, you should be like, well, fuck that. Like, how about a week? I'm just saying, like, maybe I was trying to help him out with the negotiation or the expectation. Like, if I, knowing what I know about video editing, I would expect that to be done in seriously a weekend.
Oh, you gotta tell those motherfuckers to do it faster. Fuck a
For
month.
sure, dude. You're trying to get on Netflix. Time is money, baby. I want to be on there by Christmas time.
I mean, this could be a thing that helps myself and Dustin because at the rap party, I was talking to some of the producers about, the, the future, what's coming up next. Like the editors have the hard drives, so they're going to get cracking on that. In a couple of weeks, there'll be a first edit, a first cut that we'll have to watch, give notes, and fine tune it and get it exactly where it needs to be. But you're right. I think a comedy special. I think it will be done quicker than a few months. I was just making fun of you. But here's
fair.
something I think I told you guys about, but I haven't told this story publicly yet. So remember how I was saying that everybody was like, "All right, you're done with the movie. Now what?" And I'm like, "Well, the editor is out of town on another project, and then when that guy's back, our producer is out of town for a couple days that overlap, but then they're gonna get the hard drives over." And I was like, "Well, if it gets us a couple days ahead of the curve, like I'm chomping at the bits. Like I want to get this done as soon as we possibly can. And if it's a matter of getting it done to 2 days earlier, fuck yeah, what do I have to do? Like if it's just a matter of driving to someone's house, picking something up and driving it to someone else's house, I'll do that to save a few days." But they kept being like, "No, you know what? It's okay. We'll be fine. Maybe I can go and pick them up. You don't have to worry yourself with it." So I got a call last week saying, "All right, so don't have a heart attack because everything is fine, but I have to come clean about something."
But we lost all the hard drives.
They were like, the editor was not out of town. On day 9 of the shoot, both hard drives crashed. And these are like $2,000 hard drives each. And what they do is when you're shooting on digital, the memory cards fill up really quickly because you have to shoot it in the highest picture quality possible. It fills these cards up like crazy. They give it to the DIT. He dumps it into the hard drive, wipes the card, gives it back, and they reload it. And on day 9, the DIT went to the production trailer and was like, "We have a big fucking problem." And they're like, "Wait, what?" It's like, the hard drive crashed. So I went to the backup, and that one crashed. And they were like, "Yep, that is a huge fucking problem." So day 9 of a 13-day shoot, that was, I think, Monday.
And I'm assuming you didn't know any of this.
No, I didn't know about it until late last week when they called me and told me.
Okay.
You would have flipped your fucking shit.
Yeah. I wouldn't have slept. As like every day on set when we're about to shoot, be like, "All right, well, here we are shooting day 10 and 1 through 9 is wiped. So what's the point? What are we doing here?" Like it definitely would have taken me out of the game. It would have fucked me up. I'm talking 0 sleep. My neurotic brain would have been thinking of nothing but that. And they were like, "Look, we didn't tell you because you don't work in data recovery. Like you knowing that information wouldn't have helped you at all. It just would have stressed you out. And if you want to flip out on me, if you want to be pissed off, you're 100% within your right. But we just made a call to try and not put that on your shoulders." And I was like, nah, you know what? You made the right call. That would have fucked me up. And you're right. Yeah, me having that information, there's no benefit to it. I couldn't have helped. So they
I mean, I guess. I'm sorry. Finish what you were saying.
Well, they rushed it over to a data recovery place, and they called them like a couple days later, or a couple days ago last week, and they were like, "All right, we were able to successfully recover everything." So everything is fine, but it was just like, because that was in my head this whole time, because I'm always looking for ways that I'm going to get fucked. It's like the whole time we're shooting, it's like, all right, who's going to get COVID? Are we going to get shut down? Is this lady going to, this fucking psychopath who lives next door and owns the place we're shooting at, is she going to like void our contract and kick us out? Like the entire budget, there was no wiggle room for fuck ups. There's no wiggle room for reshoots. There's for nothing like that. So we had to nail this in the allotted time. And that was in the back of my head the whole time. I was just like, yeah, but even if everything goes right, like everything is on these hard drives. So if they're in someone's car and they get in an accident and the hard drive goes through the window or something, or if someone's apartment floods, or if it catches on fire, like everything being in two little boxes is fucking terrifying, especially because I'm a human EMP. Everything technological around me just gets fried. And then it ended up being like a real fucking thing that happened. Both of these $2,000 hard drives crashed on the same day.
Yeah. To their point, though, if they told you, you would have brought nothing to the table on fixing it. And I don't think, like, I never heard of a data recovery, like a whole data recovery business. Did you know that? Would you have known that was an option at the time, or would you have been like, "Oh, we're fucked. It's over. Game's over."
I would have known, but I've been like, I know what's going to happen with my luck. They're going to be like, we tried, but everything's lost.
Okay, all right.
That's going to be my question. What would they have done this far into it with you not knowing if that had happened?
So I did ask that. And I think what would have happened is
you don't want to know.
Since we had insurance, I think that like equipment malfunction would have probably refunded
reimburse you.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But then again,
so
it's like the movie would not have happened. Because like everybody that did their job still had to get paid. And I know I got like the money would have gotten reimbursed, but it's like
it would have taken a while too, and you would have been cash strapped probably.
Yeah, it would have taken a while, and then if we were to just reshoot again, it was hard enough getting everybody's schedules to line up for that 2.5 weeks, because like people have other acting gigs. You know, Dustin is on the road a lot doing stand up, and it's like to have everything line up perfectly like that. It was tough. So doing it again, getting, the same crew back together, getting the same locations, reshooting all that stuff would have been a fucking nightmare. It was tough. Like, it was a very fun, rewarding process, but it's hard fucking work. And not only that, but you also need a bit of good luck, which shockingly delivered in places where we needed it. So, I mean, that would be like, if we did we've done podcasts before where like we got to the end and there was like an error message on the recorder, and it's like,
you always handle that well.
Oh yeah, that always goes. Whenever we have a technical hiccup, there is never any concern for that. Geoff
Kevin just takes it right in stride.
Yeah, but and imagine if that one episode had a 6-figure budget attached to it, and we're like, oh my God, we have to redo that.
In that case, you might lose your cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that queefer, what was it, Supermarket Queefs, or was it the first Queef or No Queef that we had the issues? Well, oh no, the last Crafter Geoff. It was the last episode of Crafter Geoff.
Oh yeah, it was a Crafter Geoff that had a fucking
It was
error.
the finale.
Oh.
Yeah. Kevin was
where
fucking heated.
where Jeff and I were having side conversations during the week that were kind of like, did Kevin
He
really
just
kill the show? Is this like what are we do we think we're still recording on Monday?
Oh no, that was a completely different thing. That was all the equipment shit out. I'm talking about where we
No.
do an episode and then when I go to hit stop
Right.
record and there's an error message.
But
still tech difficulties.
what I'm saying, yeah, just with general tech difficulties, they always go smoothly no matter what they are.
I guess we're beating around the bush here. The core of the joke is I think tech difficulties piss you off more than anything in the world. Is that fair?
Yeah. Because they just
And
happen so fucking much. It's like, why is anybody else's seat doing this? Like, what the fuck is going on?
and they probably would have loved it had you run shit around for them and they didn't have to do it if it had existed at the time.
Huh?
Yeah.
Like you were willing to run things between the editors and wherever it needed to go.
Oh yeah.
But they didn't
Yeah.
have it.
Yeah.
The reason they didn't want your help was there was nothing for you to move around.
Well,
Exactly.
guys, where's drive 8 and 9? I'll take it to the editor. Well, it's in the data recovery shop, actually.
I even said, I was like, if I ever get to make another movie, we're putting it in the budget that there's going to be a cloud backup. I know it's going to be really fucking time consuming, and that might include maybe getting a third hard drive, but I was like, I would rather have that and have the peace of mind than like 100% of the movies that I've worked on, the hard drives have crashed. What the fuck?
Was the experience like inspiring in the sense that you like it motivates you to want to do more movies?
Oh yeah, I definitely want to make more movies.
Like it's not like the first semester of college. You're like, you know what? Fuck this major. I'm out.
Yeah, because I was talking to somebody at the rap party, and they were like, so, first-time filmmaker, how do you feel afterwards? Would you make another one? And I was like, oh, fuck yeah. And he was like, oh, cool. Yeah, like I feel like a lot of times people make their first movie, and when they come out of the other side of it, they're like, I am never doing that again. That was so stressful. That was so exhausting. That took like 7 years off my life. Like, never again.
Yeah, a lot of people probably respond no to that question. Like, nah, it's no, that's not how I want to spend my life.
It's a fucking ass kicker for sure.
Because I mean, you got to put a lot of work into it, and at this point, you don't know if you're going to ever make money doing it. So, like,
Yeah.
if you don't love it, then you're in the wrong spot.
Yep. But yeah, that's that.
How many Dustin Ybarra stand-up special picks are we going to suck?
I'm sucking 5. That was a 5-dicker.
No, yeah. Dude, he shouted us out at the end, the Mad Scientist Party Hour.
Oh yeah.
And like the room like clapped and I didn't even know what to do. So I just like waved. I was like, huh.
Yeah, I was expecting Geoff to stand up and do the bow thing where he's like, yeah,
I just get up and take the mic from his opener.
yeah,
Sorry, I'm gonna do a little crowd work.
A pig walks into a bar. Stop me if you've heard this one before. The Aristocrats. Yeah, and then I rounded things out with going on Doug Loves Movies yesterday.
You were on DLM.
Yeah.
Ooh, I had some of this story spoiled for me, Shuddy. So
Yeah, you were already taking shots at me.
so you get to experience it now. How was Doug Loves Movies? I heard you made us look like bitches.
It's still
Raw.
still hurts.
What happened?
So, for all of October, it's always Doug Loves scary movies. And
Right.
as a
Which
horror
is
movie
your
junkie,
thing.
I don't know if I've
It is his
ever
thing.
I don't know if I've ever been on Doug Loves Movies during October before. I don't know for sure. There's a chance, but like, you know, I listen and I'm like, oh God, please, Doug, text me and ask me to come on. I want to fucking do some horror movie trivia. And I get on, and the two guests are not horror movie fans. So I was just like, oh, this is awesome. Like, my plan was, so if you win the games on Doug Loves Movies, the prize is he invites you back. So if you go on a streak, you just keep getting invited back. And in my head, I was like, and this was obviously a joke, but I was like, I'm just going to fucking crush these games for the next 4 months, and I will still be guessing when John Cooper comes out, and then I can finally promote it. And I was like, okay, it was Paget Brewster and Gabe Malika. And Gabe, right out the bat, when Doug was like, all right, everybody recommend a horror movie, he was like, oh, I don't even have a horror movie to recommend. Like, that's how little he gives a shit about horror movies. And I was like, ooh, Kevin, you got
Does
this
he
in the
know
fucking
other
bag.
movies, then?
I don't know, because it was all horror movie centered. But yeah, the game was regarding Scream Queens, and I was like, oh, it's in the bag. It's in the fucking bag.
This is like when there's a whole Jeopardy category, 1990 sports. I'm just like, oh yes.
Oh. Yeah, so this was like my 90s sports. I was like, oh my God. So in my head, I'm making a list. But then he hit us with the curveball that it's based on an article from a website. I don't even want to shout these motherfuckers out. I'm so goddamn disgusted. Read. Disgusted with these fucks. And I was like, I even said it on the show. I was like, all right, if it's a post by a blogger, there's going to be a couple heavy hitters. There's going to be probably a deep cut. And then there's going to be the ones that it's going to piss everybody off so they complain about it on the internet and get it free publicity and free clicks. And I played it wrong. Like Doug immediately took Jamie Lee Curtis off the board. He was like, she was number one, so obviously that's everybody's first guess is Jamie Lee Curtis. So Scream Queens.
Do you remember any of the questions?
Yeah, it was name Scream Queens other than Jamie Lee Curtis. That was it. You just had to match with the list, and the higher they were on the list, were the more points you got. And it was like three turns of guessing, so you only got 3 turns. And 2 of my guesses weren't even on the list. One of which
2?
Barbara Crampton, which, if you're a horror movie nerd and you're talking Scream Queens, you cannot leave her off the list. Like, she's been in more horror movies than Jamie Lee Curtis.
I'm trying to think of a Scream Queen. Does Neve Campbell, does she count?
Yeah, and she was my second guess because Gabe guessed someone else from Scream. Oh, no, wait. Did he guess Sarah Michelle Gellar? Oh, no. He guessed Drew Barrymore because she was in Scream. And I was like, all right, well,
she's the first one to die.
Yeah, in the first one.
I got one more. How about Jennifer Love Hewitt? Was she on there?
She was my third guess because after Barbara Crampton wasn't on the list, I'm like, okay, so this list clearly has no merit. So why would I bother naming anything that makes sense? So I was just like, okay, if Sarah Michelle Gellar was on the list because she was in, like, Neve Campbell was number 1, so I got 9 points. I was like, all right, I'm in the lead. I just need to get one more correct answer just for some bonus points so no one can catch me. And
sounds like you got Letterboxd deed.
I got caught because he guessed Sarah Michelle Gellar and Anya Taylor-Joy.
She's considered a Scream Queen?
I guess because she was in The Witch.
Yeah.
And
that's
The Menu. Oh, and I guess she was
I was wondering that.
She was in Split. But it's like, I don't know. That does not qualify you as a Scream Queen.
No, not at all.
It was just shameful. I wanted...
Jennifer Love Hewitt is more of a Scream Queen than Anya Taylor-Joy.
Yeah. I mean, I was literally about to pull out my knife that I open Amazon packages with and perform harakiri right on Doug Loves Movies. It was the most shameful moment of my life.
How would one go about performing harakiri?
You stab yourself in the gut off to the side, and then you saw across your belly and spill your guts out.
You do that to yourself, or that's what
Yes.
people do
No,
to
no.
other?
No. That's what samurais did to themselves when they were shamed.
Yeah.
Ah,
And a lot of times they would have what's called a second. So once you cut across and your guts were spilled out, they would chop your head off. So it's just like, all right, he did his thing, end the pain. So I would have done it without a second because Carl wasn't here. I was ready to just gut myself. Like I lost a fucking horror movie game on a movie podcast to a guy who couldn't recommend a horror movie. And I'm not saying that like, oh, this fucking guy. It's like I'm mad at that list. Like
oh yeah.
how can you make a fucking Scream Queen list and you
Oh,
don't you have Sarah Michelle Gellar, but you don't have Jennifer Love Hewitt, you don't have Barbara Crampton, and then you have the Farmiga
Anya
sisters.
Taylor-Joy.
Anya Taylor-Joy, the Farmiga sisters, and two people that have been in American Horror Story. I was like, I knew it because bloggers don't do anything fucking seriously. They're
And
not.
that's why Doug picked that list.
Yeah.
Because it was unconventional and it wasn't going to be easy to figure out the formula.
it's like Kevin was going to say when he was like, I'm not even mad at it. I'm not even trying to clown on the guy. I thought he was going to say, I'm just mad at myself. But he's like, no, I'm mad at the list.
I mean, there were. Okay, so Heather Langenkamp from Friday the
Who
13th.
could forget her?
She was on it. And
Was she naked in that movie?
No, I don't think so. And obviously that was in my head. And also Danielle Harris, who was in a couple Halloween movies.
That was my first. That when you said that and that Jamie Lee Curtis was off the list, my first thought was Danielle Harris.
If I had followed up my Nev Campbell guess with Danielle Harris, I would have won. But instead, I was trying to think. I'm like, okay, this is clearly not a serious article. So my last guess went to Jenna Ortega because she was in. She's been in a couple Scream movies. She was in X, and she's Wednesday. And I was like, all right, if this is one of those things where they're just like, they're not making a real list here. They're not being serious. I was like, they're obviously going to try and just be trendy and get someone who's hot right now, very popular, trending, and their name will show up in Google's. It's like, it's got to be Jenna Ortega. No, she was not on the list either. So just
I'm assuming this person wasn't on the list, but does Mia Farrow count as a Scream Queen, or is that like, was she in the era before those even existed?
no, they existed, but I think after the first round of guessing, Doug said it was more modern skewing, and I was like, all right, that was kind of what led me towards guessing Jenna Ortega. Otherwise, I would have gone with Danielle Harris and would have won. Now that
Who
you
played the
mentioned it,
doll
Geoff,
Megan?
I am very mad at myself too, because I should have just guessed Danielle Harris. I should have kept it real, and I didn't. I fucking betrayed myself, chasing points.
Not only did you betray yourself, you let Geoff and I down.
I know, and it kills me.
Just think of how we could be bigger than Joe Rogan today if you had won that yesterday.
Don't worry,
Yeah, you'd be on the next DLM.
I went straight to Ralph's and I bought a nerd's rope and I self-flagellated myself.
You just were sitting there eating a whole stick of butter.
Yeah, I knelt down. I knelt down on Legos. I whipped myself with a nerd rope, and then I
Da Vinci Code.
I filleted a stick of butter.
Nice.
I'm so fucking disappointed in myself. I'm so fucking disappointed in myself. It ruined my whole day.
That's why, I mean, I know I don't have the name recognition that you do, but that's why he needs to have a winner from the show on his show and not your whack ass.
Well, it was a bitch ass list, so I'm sure your bitch ass would have won it.
I mean, let's just remember that I am also smarter than you, as proven. numerous times. So I
Well,
would have done
that is up for debate.
sufficient.
And also, I don't know, there's no real intelligence required for horror movie trivia.
True. Kevin, were you outwardly disappointed on the podcast?
No. I
Okay.
did express my disgust for the article.
You should have thrown a water bottle into the fucking crowd.
No,
No, it
he
was
was in
over
his own
Zoom.
apartment.
Oh, it was on Zoom.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, since the pandemic, he doesn't do. I went and saw one of them with you. What was that? Wasn't that Franklin Theater or something?
Yeah, UCB.
UCB on Franklin, right
Yeah.
next to the Scientology spot.
Yep. Yeah.
Should have went there after.
Well, no, he does still do live shows, but
He doesn't do them as frequently. He doesn't have a standing spot anymore like he did pre-COVID.
Understood.
It's probably
yeah.
just a lot easier to get guests if he does it on Zoom. It doesn't have to be based on scheduling. They can do it from anywhere.
Yeah.
But I let us down. I besmirched the Puminati name. I made myself look like a real
I'm not
fucking
mad, Kevin,
fuckhead.
but I am disappointed.
I forgive you. It's all good, man. I agree that it sounds like a bitch ass list. If it doesn't have Jennifer Love Hewitt, then come on. And
I don't even know who Barbara Pompton is.
I have no idea who that is.
I don't know who she is either. But I Googled her, and while I haven't seen her films, I have heard of most of them.
And Anya Taylor,
Reanimator, Chopping Mall.
Anna Taylor Joy. That doesn't feel like a good guess. I didn't even really think of the menu as. I was gonna say I didn't really think of it as a horror movie. I guess it was though, but I don't know. She didn't do like a lot of screaming in that one. Felt like she had the situation under control. I'm not going to spoil it for anyone, but and The Witch. I think I've seen that. Right? That's an A24 movie. I
Yeah.
think I've
Yep,
seen
with
that one.
Black Phillip.
Yeah,
And,
yeah. I didn't remember she was in it.
and
To be honest.
Ralph Ineson
She was-
as the dad.
She
That was
the
before
main.
she got big, right?
Yes.
Because as far as I know, she got big with Queen's Gambit, the Netflix thing, right?
Probably.
Yeah, it wasn't New Mutants.
I'll tell you what though, The Witch was fucking awesome. I do love that movie. But I feel like one horror movie under your belt does not make a scream queen. That whatever.
Agreed.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm coming across like a salty bitch, but I'm really just angry with myself, and I am angry at that list. That's a fucked list.
Would you do
But-
a horror movie?
Would I make a horror movie?
Yeah.
Oh fuck yeah.
Comedy is your main lane and your go-to, but are there any horror screenplays in the works or any ideas
mean-
you're tossing around your old noggin?
I mean, I do have Zombie Beach Party.
I thought that was more comedy than
It's a comedy horror. Yeah.
almost like a Shaun of the Dead type thing.
A little bit. But yeah, I mean,
Which
I would
that's
love
a
to
masterpiece of a movie.
make Shaun of the Dead, yeah.
Mm.
But I would love to make Zombie Beach Party, and I did come up with an idea for a slasher that I've run by a couple people, and they thought it was really cool. It's just I think I do kind of need to. I should probably jump to horror next, not like straight up horror, but horror sells so fucking well. It's like the best selling thing. Like
Yeah,
that's
and it doesn't have like it's got like I'm trying to think of the word, but it's pretty cheap to make, right?
yeah.
For the most part.
I mean,
Yeah.
there was the last year there was this movie Skinamarink that came out. That was like a Canadian movie that they made for $15,000, and it crushed in theaters, and then got bought up, and I think it's streaming on Hulu and Shudder. So anybody involved in like back end points on that movie made a fucking killing. And I think that's why a lot like when you're scrolling through a streaming service and you get deep in the trenches and it's all these like horror movies that look like they were made for $5 and you're like, what the fuck is this? Who watches these besides Dom?
Leprechaun
Apparently,
in Manhattan or some shit.
apparently, lots of people, because those horror movies get snatched up by streamers left and right.
Dude, my brothers are watching shit I've never heard of here in Horror Movie Month. So
Like what?
I've never even heard of it. I don't know. I just go into the living room like, oh, what's this? And they'll, oh, it's Terrifier 2. All right. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't even know why I ask. I can't continue the conversation. It's just like, oh, all right. Cool. I also, the older I get, the more like scared I get of horror movies.
Oh, I'm frightened.
Like, I don't really want to watch someone get murdered or terrorized, I guess, by ghosts.
You just watch it in
Ghosts
documentary
aren't.
format.
Yeah, yeah. Just want to. I want to hear true stories about evil people. I don't
I want
want
real
to see it
people.
played out.
I want to see real people die.
That the most recent one that I watched, the one with Justin Long when they were in Detroit. That horror movie was fucking sick. I forget what that's called.
Barbarian.
Yeah, that was a good one,
Yeah, Barbarian's fucking
but
awesome. I love that movie.
it scared the shit out of me.
Oh, I want to watch a jump scare movie with you now. So every time something jumps out, you're like, oh, oh,
The bowl of M&Ms goes everywhere. Whoa!
little mama, hold me.
I hide behind little mama.
Oh, take her, scary ghost, not me.
Totally.
Yeah. Well,
Little mama.
going back over that story of losing on Doug Love's Movies just took all the wind out of my sails.
Were you not going to talk about that?
No, I was. But I just want to punch myself in the nuts for being such a fucking idiot.
I want to punch you in the nuts for being such a fucking idiot.
You've been on that show how many times?
I don't even know.
So Doug knows you know horror movies, right? Was he surprised that did he like talk about like you losing as like an upset?
No, but when I threw out Barbara Crampton's name, he was very, very shocked. Like, I mean, obviously he knew what was on the list, but he was like, I couldn't believe that she wasn't on this. Like, that's a name that deserves to be on there. And like, when you hear the rest of this list, you're definitely going to be like, yep, Barbara Crampton should be on there and not this person.
Poor guy.
I
Well,
would
hey.
personally say Thaisa Farmiga from being in The Nun and The Nun 2 does not a Scream Queen make. But I digress. I'm not a blogger, so fuck me, right?
No, you're not.
Well, I don't know.
These sisters with Vera?
I know. Isn't that weird?
Who's hotter? I guess I can look this up. Who's Vera
I mean,
or me?
they're 21 years apart.
Yeah. I think a lot of people thought that they were... I thought they were mother and daughter until I actually watched The Nun last month, I think. And I was like, how old was Vera Farmiga when she had this girl? And then it was like, nope, they are sisters. I was like, holy shit.
Oh,
That's wild.
shit. Oh, I would answer Vera Farmiga is hotter.
I'm sure she
I'd
appreciates
prefer
that.
I'd prefer to sleep with her. Yeah, someone tell her. Someone get the word over to her. Geoff Clark chose you over your younger sister.
Did you guys watch any movies this past week?
I've watched several movies this past week.
You're doing a little bit of a horror fest over there, right, Shuddy?
Huge horror fest.
And you're not even that big of a horror fan.
It's just the time of year. You know, if there's a time for horror movies, it's spooky season. And
You should call it spooky season now that you fucking are losing horror movie trivia.
Yeah,
games.
you don't have any leg to stand on.
Yeah, you should dumb it down to basic bitch status.
That fucking blog post was essentially that is the epitome of spooky season.
Yeah, the title of it was Scream Queens from Spooky Season.
Yeah. Just
Since last we recorded, I've watched 8 horror movies.
oh my
Oh
god,
shit,
Shuddy,
man! Let's
fucking
get those
raging.
dicks out real quick, huh? It's gonna
Yeah,
turn into a horror bukkake.
yeah, big fucking horror glory hole.
this
Uh,
is this is like when
Whack,
the
whack,
old
whack.
guest we had, Sirius or no Siri had that World Cup blow bang thing.
What?
That wasn't that her? Wasn't Siri and Sarah J? Didn't they do like a blow bang for anyone who picked Germany or Brazil to win the World Cup?
I don't know. You're the statistics guy.
All right, I'll Google this and we'll circle back.
All right, cool.
Siri, Sarah J, blowback,
Which
soccer.
horror movie gave you the biggest boner, Shuddy boy?
so I shouldn't say horror movie because now I'm looking at the list. There's one, two, three, four, 5 horror comedies in that 8 movies. One anime movie, one true horror movie, and then Bone Tomahawk.
Oh yeah, you watched Vampire Hunter D. I fucking love that movie.
So fucking good.
Not related to Letterbox D, but Vampire Hunter D.
That was really good. Quite pervy. You do see there are boobies in it, Geoff.
Well, I mean it's anime.
What? Oh, hentai boobies.
Oh, my favorite kind of nougatos.
So I found. Hold on, I found this story from icanlickit.com. It said Team BJ, Sarah J, and Siri promising blowjobs to World Cup fans. If you're following either one of them, you're a fan of hashtag Team USC or Team USA, Team Brazil, Team England, Team Germany. You have a chance to win a free blowjob. So that did happen. I didn't remember that correctly. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
There were a
I'm gonna
bunch
watch this
of,
video now, though.
I mean, Beetlejuice and Ghostbusters were watched, and those are 5 dickers.
Yeah.
Not much. So is Shaun of the Dead. That was watched.
Yep. 5 dicker.
Saw The Omen for the first time.
What'd you think?
So with
Really
Damien,
enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's a good flick.
Yeah, with Damien. The WNUF Halloween special, which I can't recommend enough if somebody can get their hands on it.
Yeah, I've heard about that. I've never seen it because it's very rare and hard to get your hands on. But I've heard good things.
Mark's copy of it is a DVD copy from a foreign land because everything's, including the selection screen, are in a foreign language.
Oh shit.
And Bone Tomahawk was gnarly.
Yeah.
Slow movie, but when it gets going, it fucking gets going.
That upside down wishbone kill. Oof. I still wince thinking about that.
I was groaning, and I made, like, luckily I was in my own living room because that definitely, I would have been the person going, "Oh my god, no," in the movie theater. That was fucking
no.
Oh god, don't do it. Don't hack
and then
don't hack his grundle.
What We Do in the Shadows last night.
Oh, that's another awesome movie.
And then tonight Draven and I are going to be watching Shock 'em Dead starring Tracy Lords for What the Fuck Did I Just Watch?
Ugh. That sounds terrible.
What's wrong with that, Kevin? You're into spooky season movies? Oh, excuse me.
He's obviously not that into them.
It's true. Your spooky season brand is taking a hit this weekend or this week, Kevin.
You know what?
The IMDb description of this movie is Martin is a total loser who makes a deal with the devil to become the greatest rock star in the world.
Sounds like it'd be a lot of fun.
Are you going to watch it, Geoff?
Nope.
Guess it doesn't sound like that much fun.
Yeah, I was just being nice.
Well, I watched the new VHS movie, Have you ever seen any of those, Shuddy?
No.
They're like a modern anthology type thing, kind of like Tales from the Crypt type shit. So
Mm-mm.
they made VHS, and there was VHS 2, and then I think they did VHS Viral, and then they just started doing years after it. So I think there's VHS 99, 94, and then this one was 85. So it was just like a handful of horror shorts that take place in the 80s or 80s themed. And it was decent, you know. I think like with a lot of anthology things, especially when each one is done by a different creative team, different director, different writers and stuff, it's kind of a mixed bag. But that's one of the reasons why I love anthology horror movies so much, because even if one or two of them stink, you're going to get a couple that are at least somewhat cool. Like Geoff, you're big into Tales from the Hood, right?
Yeah, dude.
Tales from the Hood.
What's that guy? Is David Allen Greer in that, right?
Yeah.
And then Corbin Burnson.
Yep.
Yeah, dude.
And the guy that
That
played
shit goes hard.
the guy that played Samson in Half Baked.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah, that's an anthology movie, and man,
Hmm.
Tales from the Hood is fucking awesome. Have you ever
When's the
seen it,
last?
Shuddy?
No, I've not seen Tales from the Hood.
Oh, if that's streaming anywhere, you got to watch it. 'Cause
What is that in your spooky? Is that in your Halloween movie season playlist?
yeah,
Tales from the Hood.
yeah, because of you.
Hmm.
I watched it on your recommendation, and then it
Wait,
was
you never saw it before I recommended it to you?
no.
Oh man.
So I threw it on because it was streaming somewhere, and I loved it so much I bought it on Blu-ray. And I don't know if it's streaming anywhere right now, but I
I
might.
love the alternative titles for Tales from the Hood. Boys Do Get Bruised, Rogue Cop Revelation, Kevin Killer Kraft Comeuppance,
Uh,
Hardcore Convert.
Is it the name of the stories within the movie?
It just says alternative titles, and then it goes, Welcome to My Mortuary, Historias del Barrio Negro.
I think this is the
Hmm.
name of the shorts that are in Tales from the Hood. I think. But it's like legit good. It's not like fun, campy bullshit good. It's a fucking good flick.
It's streaming on the cock with premium.
Ooh. Oh, you should watch that, Shuddy.
And
Yeah, I
on
might check it out.
Stars and Tubi.
Yeah.
I can't do it tonight because I have to watch Shock 'em Dead.
Yeah. Well, VHS 85 was decent. I'll suck 3 VHS dicks for that one. Did you just fart, Geoff?
No, no, that was my chair.
No, I queefed.
Sure it was.
That was my pussy.
I would admit to farting. I mean, look where I am. You and our whole audience accepts me farting, accepts farts.
That's true. All right, well, Geoff, I'm guessing you didn't see anything?
Dude, I have nothing to review except for my terrible sports bets, which will just depress everyone.
You didn't go go see the Taylor Swift concert?
The Eras Tour? No, I didn't check it out. I'm surprised you didn't have to go with Carl.
I know. I'm very surprised.
That's
I was
it's a
prepared.
huge bullet that you dodged.
I mean, I don't hate Taylor Swift. I just would prefer to do something else with my time. And I know that seeing that fucking thing in person, like in the theater, there's going to be so many people singing along to it, and that's going to make me get very angry.
Oh, you're not going to go see it in the theater either, yeah?
No, not unless Carl forces my hand. I mean, I've made her sit through so many movies that I have no leg to stand on by saying no. I would definitely go with her, and I wouldn't be, I would go and be a gamer. I wouldn't be a pouty little bitch about it. But in my
Isn't
head,
her concerts like 4 hours long? Like,
is
how
it?
long is the fucking movie?
Oh, I don't know, man. Let me see if it's. Let me see.
Yeah, I'll Google it.
I pulled up the AMC app because I kind of want to see what else is coming out. But I think that Taylor Swift thing just fucking frightened everybody away. No one wants to go up against Taylor Swift. So they're just like, yeah, we don't have any movies coming out for the next month. Let's see.
The
Oh,
show
wow!
itself is 3 hours and 15 minutes.
Yeah, the runtime at an AMC theater is 2 hours and 48 minutes. Whoa.
Fuck.
Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, I think
It
it's
says
already
the box
gone.
office $780 million.
Yeah, that thing made a fucking mint. I think
Yeah,
worldwide
dude.
it was like 130 million.
She's balling.
She is balling. But you know who else is balling? Our fucking Patreon, which you can access at patreon.com/Mad Scientist Party Hour. It is chock full of goodies. If you think 2 hours and 48 minutes is a long runtime, you should see the staggering amount of content that we have hoarded away on our Patreon. Excellent,
Don't let
excellent
Kevin
programming.
mislead you, though. Nothing's longer than 2 hours and 40 minutes.
No. I'm just saying if you combine it all, it's very long.
Yeah. It's actually days.
But it's it's in easy to chew, sizable formats.
Digestible.
Yeah. Like I'd say the longest thing we do is either the bonus podcast or Queef or No Queef. Crafter Jeffs have gotten pretty long. We've done like 90-minute Crafter Jeffs, but it's a lot of
Dude,
stuff.
there'll be like a double disc queef or no queef that'll go like 90 minutes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, those surprises. By the way, if you're into Schadenfreude and you hate me, boy, am I getting my fucking nutsack stomped into oblivion in Queef or No Queef.
It's been 2 episodes, right? Or 3? There's a lot of season here.
It is, but
A lot
yeah,
of season, man.
I guess when it comes to games lately, I'm not delivering. If you put something in
You're
game
off your
format,
game.
I'm gonna fuck it up. I couldn't even fucking win a Scream Queen trivia game. I can't beat Geoff and Shuddy at Queef or No Queef. I'm just a big dumb stupid head over here.
Yeah.
But check it out. Patreon.com/Mad Scientist Party Hour. And if you want to hear me eat a nice big turd sandwich, check out the new episode of Doug Loves Movies. Just dropped today. You can also follow us on Instagram. I'm at Kevin Kraft.
At Shuddy Boy.
And Jeffro Records.
And at MSPH Podcast. And also at John Cooper Movie. And if you want some solid sports betting picks, and if you need more Jeff Clark in your life, Outkick Bets with Jeff Clark.
Yep, breaking down NFL Week 7 Wednesday, and I will start my NBA preview tomorrow, Tuesday, with the Eastern Conference. Do Western Conference later this week, so I got 3 sports betting podcasts coming out this week. We're about to hit the busy season of sports, so I'm excited.
More like Outkick Butts with Jeff Clark. Let's see. What else? YouTube.com/Mad Scientist Party Hour. If you'd like to see the Zoom feed of these episodes, that is readily available for you at YouTube.com/Mad Scientist Party Hour. You guys got anything else?
No, sir.
You hear my elbow crack when I did that? Did you hear that elbow?
No.
Well, it didn't just crack. Never mind. No, that's it. Have a nice week, homies.
We might have heard it, but you kept talking over your karate chops.
Well, you were talking when I cracked, and I didn't have any more cracks to do it when I demonstrated it, so I'll have to do it next week.
Yeah, you were like, are you guys hearing my elbow crack when I do this? And then right when you stopped talking, you stopped moving your elbow.
Well,
I'm sure,
next week.
I'm sure it was glorious, Jeff. I can picture it in my mind right now, and it's amazing.
It was a symphony of elbow cracks.
All right, thank you for listening, everybody. And until next time, something.